Hello, Fox Rose here, and today I'm going to be showcasing games that I am selling. I'm willing to take most prices for any of these games. Some of these games do not have the original boxes or cases at all, and some of these games I just show in sleeves, but I have the cases. Keep that in mind. In most cases, I have the cases. So, what I have is a big mix of DS games, handful of DS games that don't have a case. Good batch of games there, actually. Can't see it right now, but tons of Game Boy Advance games. That was a brand new game for every one I showed just now. I'm also selling the original Spore for PC. My mother would never let me put it on my computer, so... Well, on her computer, really, but it was really mine, because she couldn't use the thing for shit. So, yeah, Spore I'm selling. And I'm also selling a good bunch. And keep in mind, these are all double-sided pages, and each one is filled out. There's 8 games a page here, and there's 4 pages. That's a total of 32 games. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and some PlayStation 3 games I'm selling. We're going to go through the DS games, then the PS2s, then the stuff that doesn't have the cases. Alright, with that said, let's get started. Game number 1 is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. Speaks for itself. As you can see, game and manual. And the paper doesn't like to stay. There we go. Next one, Prince of Persia. Game, manual. Pokemon Troze. I love the game, but it's not for me anymore. Besides Pokemon Puzzle League and Pokemon Puzzle League Challenge, 2 of the greatest Pokemon puzzle games they've ever made, honestly. But at any rate, Pokemon Troze. There's the game, there's the manual. Keep in mind, all games that I'm selling work. Take that as you will. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, which, when I was doing this just a moment ago and putting them on YouTube, because the camera was starting to work there finally, but suddenly stopped, there were 2 copies of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time in here, and now there's only 1. The manuals are right in here. Also, keep in mind, almost never played. Almost never played. And as you can see, yep, there's the one that I was just talking about that came in with this. Totally works. I know for a fact it works. And yeah. Again, that one doesn't have a case, but the other one does. Next is the other Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers game, Explorers of Darkness. And, as you can see here, manual, game. The original Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team. Manual, game. And just a moment here. Okay. I'm also going to be showcasing the DS games that don't have the case anymore in just a minute. The next one, Naruto Shippuden Ninja Council 4. Rarely played. Game, manual, and a Shonen Jump subscription if you love manga. Don't know how you'll take that, but whatever. Okay. Next one I kind of didn't want to sell, but it's really not one that I like anymore, so Mega Man Star Force 2, Zerker X Saurian. Manuals are in here, and the game is in there as well. First game that I'm showcasing that doesn't have a case. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I wanted to try this out. I tried it. Not my thing. For those of you who like the Mario and Luigi games, they're alright, but I don't know. Just something about them turns me off to them, really. Anyways, getting back to business. Next one is a more cult classic, really, rather than one that really people enjoyed in terms of the reviews and everything. Magical Star Sign, I guess it's called. I don't know. This is one of the games that was given to me. I never played it. Finding Game Boy games in these things, because I forgot I put them in here sometimes. Trying to save space. But yeah, as you can see, manuals and the game, all in there. And if you were confused just now, my dad just walked by. Don't mind him. Next one we have is Madagascar carts. Don't know how people reacted to the Madagascar movies, but I liked them. Oh, Lord. This one actually means a lot to me because this was the first Kirby game I ever beat. 100%. And, yeah. Kirby Squeak Squad. There's the manual, and there's the game. One of the few games I ever beat 100% right here. Alright, next one, and this is another one without a case. This is Dragon Quest 6, Realms of Revelation. I like the Dragon Ball-esque style designs, but just never caught my eye, and excuse me. Rice-A-Roni. Happens, you know? Alright, last DS game that does not have a case is Crash of the Titans. Yes, this is the Crash Bandicoot Crash of the Titans that is here. One of the few Crash Bandicoot games that was new, still. I never played them, but I heard that they were okay, nothing spectacular. And this is coming from someone that loved the originals, so yeah. Alright, finally, the last DS game we have here, and a certain friend of mine may actually want to buy this off me. Code Lyoko, Get Ready to Virtualize. In this game, you play as the four main characters, Odd, Ulrich, Aelita, and Yumi. In an amazing sense, this game actually works. As hard to believe as that is, it works, and it's a good game nonetheless. As you can see here, there's the manual, and there's the game. The game works fine, and a neat little thing that I loved about this game is the fact that after you beat it, there was actually a little mini-game section about puzzles, which are real mind-benders, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's a good game. It really is a good game, especially for the DS. So yeah, that's all the DS games. Now to move on to the Game Boy games, because I think the Game Boy games will be ones that sell easier than the DS. Alright. First one I'm selling, and I'm selling this because I have the PS2 version, is Crash Nitro Kart. The Crash Nitro Kart games were pretty good. I prefer the PS2 version over the Game Boy, solely because I love PlayStation more than the Game Boy. But yeah, it was pretty good nonetheless. Alright, Two of these games I found I'm actually keeping, so putting those aside. Let's see, what's the next game? This is a joint game. It's Sonic Adventure and Sonic Pinball Party. Both are very fun games, and they're easy to play. And just trying to move along quicker here. We have both Sonic Advance 2 and 3. And sorry about the ink on this. See my name? Yeah. That's because when I was younger, my mom thought that my games were going to be stolen, so she wrote my name on all the games that I had. So, yeah. Kind of worked out. Alright, next game we have here is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. I don't know if it was a good game or not, but yeah. And keep in mind, half of these games were given to me. Half of these games, I mean, the Game Boy and the DS. The other half I paid for, so I don't know how half of these work or not, so yeah. And next, we have a big batch of Yu-Gi-Oh games. First one I'm going to put up here, and I have two of this game, is Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 Trials to Glory. I have no idea how you played these games, because I never played the video games. Well, there was Forbidden Memories in the other games for the GameCube and PS2, but that's a different story. Those weren't the actual game. So, yeah. The only legitimate Yu-Gi-Oh game that I've played is oh god, what was it now? The 5Ds one for DS. Yeah, decent graphics, but meh, it wasn't the greatest. Next two games I have here are Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters and Reshef of Destruction. Keep in mind, all the games that I'm selling do work. I've tested all these games prior. These games work. And again, just so everyone can see, special sleeve for the Spore game. And then the actual game itself. From what I heard, this game has kind of a Civilizations theme to it. Where it's kind of like The Sims, you have to go and create a civilization and shit. It's okay from what I've heard, but I played the DS version, that's all I'm going to say. And next, PS1 and PS2 and PS3 games. And solely because of how this is, I'm going to pull the camera closer. There we go. Hi. Alright, just going to go through this page by page, and a good chunk of these games work. I'll point out if they don't. If you want them solely because you wanted them as a kid and never got them, then yeah. But I think there's only one game in here that doesn't work, and I gotta remember what game that is. Okay, I remember. First page, we have Action Bass, Devil May Cry 1, and Devil May Cry 2. And why there are 2 discs for Devil May Cry 2 is because of the fact that Devil May Cry 2 focused around 2 characters, Dante, that's for disc 1, and then Lucia for disc 2. Exact same kind of format for both games, but it was very odd playing as 2 different characters. And I never finished the game. I only got to like the first couple levels, so take that as you will. And now the backside, and I really wish that the 3 games on the backside still worked with the guitars, because the guitars I have don't work anymore. But here we go. We have Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, Guitar Hero 1, and Guitar Heroes 2 and 3. yeah. You have no idea how badly I wanted those games to work, because this is my childhood. 3 games have my childhood right here. I miss playing the Guitar Heroes. I'm really excited for Guitar Hero Live. If I get that, I'll try to do some videos on it, but other than that, if I ever do get it, it's probably just going to be for personal entertainment, so don't take it personally. Alright, now we're getting to the good stuff. We have the original Jak and Daxter trilogy, with Jak and Daxter 1, the precursor legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, and Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. This is based on the movie, which I loved the movie. It was one of my favorites growing up as a kid, but yeah. The game's not bad. And now we're on to the first PS3 game on this list, and I think it's one of the only PS3 games on the list. But we have the PS3 game Lair, which utilizes the DualShock controller, so keep that in mind if you get the game. Mega Man X8, which that's the only real Mega Man that I've ever played, so I don't know how the rest played, but yeah, that's the only real one I've ever played. We have the original Monsters, Inc. game for PS1. It works. I tried it. And we have Naruto Ultimate Ninja. The original Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Yeah. Which, number 2, I sold to somebody. And number 3, I'm keeping for myself because I love the Naruto games. I love them dearly. But if it's something that I have that's been made better on a different console, then I'm just going to stick with that. That's the only reason why I have the Wii, the third one for the Wii, because I am waiting for them to make the next one. I really am, even though it's probably never going to happen. But yeah, I really just want number 3. It's one of the few that I actually want. Where was I? Oh, yes. The next set of games, we're getting more into the childhood realm, where these are the ones that really mattered to me. The next one we have is Nicktoons Attack of the Toybots. Game still works, it's in great condition. Olympic Soccer, pardon my French. Yeah, another game that I got that I really don't know how to play, it's just, yeah. And then we have Ratchet & Clank's 2 and 3. We have 2 and 3 because I sold number 1 to somebody as a deal. And they were good friends of mine, so yeah. Okay, now we're getting to more PS3. And I think these 2 are the only other PS3 games on the list. But yeah, they're both the multiplayer Ratchet & Clank games. And if you're me, you can't beat these solely because you need friends to be able to beat them, and I don't have any friends around that would be willing to. But yeah. There's those 2 games. They both they both work very well. Very well, actually. Red Faction 2 and a PlayStation 1 game called Running Wild. This was actually made by, well, it was inspired by Crash Bandicoot very slightly, and the way it works is that you're basically an animal person, the kind of the furry thing out there, and you're running. That's really all it is. Just a bunch of different characters, and it's not a bad game, but it's not a great game. I mean, it's easy to beat. Okay, now we're getting to more the final games on the list. And some of these I know people are going to go crazy for. First one we have is Scooby-Doo Unmasked. Still works in great condition. Shell Shock Nom 67. That was my cousin's, but he never played it anymore, so he just gave it to me, and I don't like shooter games, so yeah. Next game we have is Sly 2 Band of Thieves. I've sold 3 and 1. Sorry. And SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. looking back at it, it's actually not a bad game. I probably beat it now, but I can never beat it as a kid. Now this one's a little hard for me to put out for sale because it's not complete, but Siphon Filter 2 Disc 1, yeah. I don't even know if it works because it's one of the games that I played. Let's see, Tomb Raider. This is the one that I was talking about prior to going through these. A friend of mine gave me this, and I never played it once because I was never into Tomb Raider. So, yeah. And don't get me wrong, Tomb Raider is a good game, just it's not my kind of game, okay? Okay. And then we got 2 oddballs. Next we have what was supposed to be the next big platformer like Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank when the PS2 first started, called Vex. And it's a very cool concept, but I could not use the swimming controls in the tutorial, and that is a bad sign. If someone can't use a major component in the games in the tutorial, that's a bad sign. And the last one, which was more of a party game when I had friends growing up as a kid, Shaolin Showdown. This actually has 6 of the main characters playable, and it's very thrilling and fulfilling to actually get all of the magic items. I forget what they were called, but yeah. So that's all of my collection for games that I'm selling right now. I think there may be a few oddballs in my room that I'm thinking of selling. So if I find them again, I'll let you guys know, and you guys please let me know if you're interested in them. Seriously, comment section, please. For the DS and Game Boy games, I'm taking any prices. As long as it's a fair price, I'll take it. For Spore, I'm thinking at least $10. It's a fair price. And even though it's outdated to most people nowadays, it's still a good game nonetheless. The graphics may be dated, the mechanics may be a little slow, but hey, it's Spore. How can you go wrong with Spore? Considering where the series went and how well it did, yeah, $10, fair price. At least $10. And now for the PS1 games in here. Excuse me. PS1 games I want $5 for. Sorry. Rice-A-Roni, I swear. PS1, $5. PS2, depending on the game, $5 to $10. That range. And then PS3, $10. So yeah. Again, I have nearly all the cases for all this stuff besides the Game Boy games and the handful of DS games that I brought up prior. So yeah, that's all the games that I'm selling for now. And please, guys, please make your best deals. I really want this stuff sold. I need to pay off for the PS4 as soon as possible. Solely because Naruto Storm 4, Disgaea 5, Digimon Cyber Sleuth, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. The list goes on for games that's coming out for PS4 that I really want, and I have no money right now. I need to pay off this debt. I'm not even joking. Make me a fair deal in the comments, and I'll say sold if it's a fair deal to me. And yeah. I hope you all are having a fantastic day, and as always, rock and roll, dudes and vixens!